Okay, so welcome to the Athlete Things podcast, episode 4. Today we're going to go over, we're going to recap Nats from myself, Danny, and Sam's point of view, how we feel about our own performances, and then we're also going to go over what we also seen over the weekend, and some of the other great performances that happened.
Yeah.
I guess if we start from
Who wants to go?
Who wants to go? So do we start at the highest or the lowest?
Let's start from the highest. Let's start on some good news first, shall we?
Yeah, okay.
Who's that?
That'd have to be Sam, because I don't think either of you are very
100%.
happy with our performances. But I also think all three of us are in a state where we don't feel like we performed as well as we could have.
No, but you still getting best overall can still be considered a highest achievement, but you yourself,
I'm not happy.
Not happy. But yeah, I'll start. So I ended up going 300 kilo squat on a second attempt, didn't take a third, 185 bench third, and then 345.5 deadlift third attempt for the national record, and then the total record of 830.5 as well. I think overall,
you did what you could do.
I did what I could do. I'm happy, but I'm definitely not satisfied. I think so I tweaked my back in my last heavy squat the week before comp. So it was just this really weird moment where I had probably the best 6 months of training of my athletic career. I was just full confidence, excited to get on the platform, finally do, what I've known I've been capable of this whole time, that 850 mark. In terms of the expectations, I was probably gluing on to that maybe too hard, reflecting back on it now, and that's probably why I'm feeling a little bit disappointed at this point in time. But yeah, got pinned by 315 in my last heavy squat. Could barely fucking walk for good 2 days.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't know that. That's we don't share that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So we think about that. It was a huge character building week for you.
Huge.
Week.
As soon as I said it on the Sunday, I came to this. I got pinned on Saturday. Came in the Sunday, tried to do some stuff. I said to Kelly straight away, I was like, I'm actually glad this has happened, because it's giving me something to overcome as an athlete. I've never really had much adversity like that before, that close to a comp, 1 week out, fucking blow on your back.
Surely this was after, right? You were glad about it after your performance?
No, I said it straight away. I was kind of I was feeling shit and doubts, and I had mental demons flooding through straight away, but I was seeing the positive of it. It was a chance to overcome something, and I kind of saw it as a challenge that I was going into that comp with not much competition. So all of a sudden I had this competition within myself to get over this, get my head right, and just get on the platform and do what I could do. So yeah, I think in reflection, I basically just we've gone back on the data and we've had a look at everything that went kind of wrong, I guess you could say. And essentially I just pushed the squat a little bit too hard for too long, and I just came in way overcooked on it and detrained. So when 300 slowed on the second, it just wasn't worth taking a third. Same thing kind of with bench. I struggled in the weeks leading up, and then with my back, I didn't really bench. We did a modified taper, and that could I got some bench back basically Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday before comp, and then the 185 ended up flying for the third. So that was frustrating. Although I was happy to still do 185, it was annoying because I was fuck, I've won more than 185, Yeah, so overall, back's good now. Reflecting back on it, yeah, massive character building week. It was just crazy going from
such a high
up until a week of the competition. I'm fucking ready to go. I'm excited to see everyone, excited to have Australian powerlifting back. And then that whole week, I did not even want to compete.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't excited for the day anymore at all. And it was just like, I was beating myself up about that. I was like, I've been excited for this all year. And now all of a sudden I'm not. Like, what's going on? Like, why am I feeling this way? And it was just like a week of battling all these emotions, all these doubts. Yeah. And then especially when I got to comp day and I was watching the live streams and there's all this chat about the calls and everything. And then I'm having more doubts about like my squat depth and my fucking bench pauses. So it was a big one to overcome for the whole week.
Definitely probably caused you to bring your head back into the game, right? Like it kind of suspended all your expectations leading up to it. And it's like, okay, now you got to have fresh eyes now that you've kind of tweaked something. But
yeah,
even though that happened, like you still total PR'd, overcame adversity, like you said, and you came out with a great result as well.
yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah,
national champion.
yeah. Oh, I think we're all the same, like we're always fucking hungry, so it's never good enough. I'm always chasing more, but yeah, I think I've really got to take a step back and go, yeah, no, for what I went through, it was good. And obviously like that deadlift record was the massive highlight, like to get that year later after missing it. But yeah, that's just the beginning. There's more to add on that.
Yeah,
but I'm finally through that little hump of getting stuck around that kind of 346, 345 and a half.
Yeah. I mean, I seen Sam on Sunday. I wasn't here Saturday after the squat, but I seen him Sunday. And I even thought to myself, like, fuck, this is a good thing for him. Because, I knew hands down he was going to win as long as he could get to the platform. But he never had that adversity, that character building week where, am I going to make it? Am I going to be all right? Am I going to be anywhere near close to where I want to be kind of thing? And it was like, you haven't mentioned it, but Sam's back went a little bit on his second deadlift and he didn't tell anyone until after he said my back went on my second deadlift. And then he still went out and fucking smacked his third, moved his third really well. And he's like, yeah, I had my back on my second one. I was like, fucking good. Like, like I love that stuff. Like, if people are willing to, they're willing to leave it all out on the platform because they've come to get a job done, like, that's what I'm all about. Like, I was like, yeah, fucking good. Like, you've proven yourself this week. And you now have a ton more respect from me as an athlete.
Yeah, no, I felt it go off my second. Just like it was just then, but I like just shut it off completely. I did not want to think about it and make it worse than it was. And it didn't matter because at the end of the day, I was putting that 345 on the bar and I was having a go at it. So
yeah,
I'd worry about it later.
Yeah, and I think
really get 9 moments.
9 moments. And if that happened just on the day and you didn't have that sore back at the start of the week, realizing how quickly you can actually turn it around, you probably would have thought about it more being like, fuck, is it worth it kind of thing. But because you had that week building into it, when it went on that second, you were just like, you know what? If it goes even more on my third, I'd know it'd be good in a week anyway because I just did it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, credit to Tom and Kelly on that note. Fucking using their brains behind the neck lat pull down, getting my ribs up again. That was keys. Just fucking behind the neck lat pull down 3 times a day. 3 sets of 10 and some other shit. But yeah, it was good. So now 8 months.
8 months.
Multi.
Yeah. That's probably
you got Commonwealths, don't you?
What's that, sorry?
You got on Commonwealths as well, aren't you? 6 weeks?
Nah, I've just decided this morning not to. I started this at the start of the week. I was like, nah, I want to go again, obviously, because I wasn't really satisfied. And like, I want to get that 840, 850. But yeah, Kelly and I had a chat just this morning and yeah, it's not worth it. Malta and World has always been the goal. And I'm in a spot now where I need to, like, we've got all this data for my squat and all my training and how it can peak effectively. And I essentially need to start 2 big long blocks from next week. So like, it's not worth pushing a 6-week turnaround when I haven't really had much momentum anyway. Yeah, I could total PR and get more on my squat and bench, but I could also be fucked at the end of it and then struggle to build to Malta.
For sure.
So that was a hard pill to swallow because I'm in the spot now where, like I said, I'm not really happy. But yeah, big chat with Kel, put my head in line, and just got to stay focused on the bigger goal. And yeah, start working towards June next year.
Yeah. Do you want to go myself now?
Yeah.
How'd you go, Steve?
How'd you go, Steve?
I went 3 from 9. We've spoken about it. You know, we just stayed in the Airbnb together. You know, both of us were a bit quiet that night. We weren't happy with our performance. Feel like I let a lot of people down, let myself down. Feel undeserving of a ticket to Malta, of that world performance, especially in like the immediate after it happened. That's how I felt. Yeah, embarrassed. A lot of mixed emotions that were all quite negative at the time, but I kind of only dwelled on that for that night. I still feel it a bit. You know, it's not the performance that I know that I'm capable of, and I know I should have been better. You know, but if we put competition around me, then I probably would have made smarter attempt selections, and I know that for a fact as well. But because I didn't, I was just, you know, let's go the whole day, which forced me to miss quite a bit. You know, and I obviously did some other things that, like you obviously know about, cut a bit of extra weight to help, did some stuff like that for people around me, but there's no excuses, right? I should have been better. I should have accounted for all these things, but I'm glad it's happened now and not, it hasn't happened in 8 months' time. Like I have this now to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know a lot of things. I'm not going to talk about the pain or anything that I went through to get to that platform, or what I was going through on the platform, because I don't care. No one needs to know about that. That's who I am as an athlete. I'll push through anything. I was willing to die that day to get under the barbell and get you know, that ticket to Worlds, which I know essentially solidified just by me hitting my openers. You know, I still came away with overall best male lifter. But I think just, you know, over the last, you know, in the first few hours after I dwelled on it, you obviously know, like I sat by myself for probably about 6 hours, just like in the moment, and you sat by yourself. Like we had a small talk initially, and then we both kind of went to our own separate locations and just sat on it ourselves and thought about our own performances, right?
Yeah, man, you were out there till like 1 a.m., 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I was, just
Yeah,
like,
shit.
fuck, this isn't me. This is what I'm not happy with, this performance. And then, you know, over the next passing days, I started to realize, you know, I'm in this position to win my weight class on my openers and be in the you know, the level that I'm at, or the league that I'm in, and still win overall male going 3 from 9, which is essentially as low as you can go, because of years of hard work. It's this one competition doesn't define what I've done or who I am as an athlete. But in that moment, it felt embarrassing, felt like it wasn't me. But the more that I think about it, the more that I've realized, like, this is just a reflection of years of hard work. I'm at the level that I'm at because I put myself in this position, because I've just been relentless for the last 5 to 6 years and haven't stopped. That's why I'm so like I'm far ahead of everyone, because I have kept going and will keep going.
Yeah, it was crazy to see, man. I think everyone kind of knew that coming in. Like you definitely had the first place, even if you had just hit your openers. And even the chat we had a long time ago is like, when you were doing that, you were like, this is just going to be my exhibition competition, right?
Yeah.
Like it's going to be for a show. So
mission.
Yeah, you definitely gave us a show there.
Yeah. It's a side quest, right? And straight back on campaign day after.
For sure.
Campaign, we're going to Malta. And you know, that's where I get to redeem myself, because I haven't had a poor performance like that in a very long time. It's my first ever 3 from 9. I haven't bombed yet, so hopefully that doesn't happen in Malta. I shouldn't fucking have just said that, but anyway.
How do you feel? So this is like one thing I'm struggling with, and why I wanted to go with Commonwealths. Like, how do you feel with the timeline now being so long, and that performance you just had, and like using it as fuel for so long. Like if you don't compete until Worlds, like are you happy sitting on that performance for that whole time, or like are you itching to get back out there earlier?
I will do a meet in between. I'm gonna do one early next year, pending I'm healthy, right?
Yeah.
My main goal is to get healthy right now because it's been a very long time.
Yeah.
And I can't keep doing this to myself. It's ridiculous. So I'll get healthy. I'm going to see one of the best physios in the area next week, and I'll get myself in a position to be able to get on the platform next year. I probably, like, now I'm not chasing a PR total anymore, right? Because I've just ended my 10 competition streak.
Yeah.
So that was the reason I loaded some of those numbers that I did, is because I'm on that streak of PR totals. Just kept going. And I know, that's my goal, is to PR my total. And now that streak's over, I don't need to PR my total anymore. It's not in my mind anymore. So there's no forced numbers that need to be hit, and there's nothing like that needs to be done. So
yeah,
I will get on the platform before I go to Worlds, but it'll just be more of a how do I put it? It'll just be more of a confidence builder.
Yeah.
A 9 from 9 performance that just builds confidence leading into Malta, and I'll lift myself to what I deem an international standard on that platform, no matter how the reffing is on the day, and I'll be absolutely undeniable.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the officiating over nationals?
No excuses, man. I will never blame a ref for a call. I believe that they were strict, and that's fine. If we're going to Worlds, it's going to be strict, right? So we need to be able to adapt. And for myself, it humbled me, right? So I have no issues with it. If the judges are seeing what they're seeing and they're giving the calls that they're giving, then they're giving it for a reason, and I have no reason to argue. Besides one red light from the front of my second squat, I wasn't very happy with, but that's that. Besides that, it's the refs are volunteers and they see what they see, right? And we don't see from their angle.
Yeah, I think the better question that I was thinking was, has the officiating forced you to kind of relook your standards of training?
Not really, because I don't think I need to squat as deep as I did on my second attempt. I did that kind of out of spite for getting 3 reds. I was a bit unhappy with the call, because I felt like I took that first one quite deep, and I got pinned on it. So I out of spite, I went as deep as I possibly could on my second one, which was probably a few inches under depth. So that's just the things that I do. Sometimes I don't think very well. I get a bit angry, and emotions carry me, and then I go out and
ask the grass
and prove a point. But I'm happy. Like the standards of officiating is getting really strict in Australia. If we're going to be the benchmark for what they are, then everyone who goes to Worlds is going to be ready for Worlds. We're not going to go, and we're not going to go there, and when no one's going to get pinned on harsh calls, because we're going to be used to it already here in our own nation.
Very true.
Yeah. Now, I guess if we get onto yourself, because I know this is going to be quite emotional. You probably haven't spoken too much about it out loud outside of your close group of people that you speak to, myself. How do you feel?
I mean, it's been a week now, so I've kind of had some time to process my own performance. But long story short, I bombed on deads due to not locking out and just not meeting the standard that the refs would have liked.
Yep.
And I only have myself to blame for that. Like, I've kind of known for a while now, like, I tend to struggle meeting that standard, just the way that I've been lifting. But overall, it wasn't just that. I'm not just mad about bombing out. I'm mad about, not being strong enough as I expected. I'm not happy about the way I was making weight. So pretty much the night before, I was sitting quite heavy. I was about a kilo over, 67 point something. And you took it upon yourself to go with me on a drive so we could blast the sauna. And yeah, I really respect and appreciate you, taking the time to just sit there with me in discomfort. But regardless, that was a consequence of not being prepared enough to sit light enough to just utilize what I've been comfortable with, which has been like water load, sodium load, gut cut. And usually by then I'm pretty good. So having to use another method that we weren't prepared for, and it was kind of, a last minute intervention, that wasn't optimal. And we had no idea how that was going to affect performance the next day. Right. Yeah. So magical taper on squat didn't show up. I just squatted what I could squat. Bench was bench. I was quite happy with that. Like even despite the harsh calls.
That is one call I will say is harsh.
Yeah.
Your bench call is probably the longest press call I've seen all weekend.
In the moment, I didn't think about it. I was just like, because me, training wise, my numbers were inflated. So I was ready to bench whatever. So putting 166 on the bar, I was like, okay, like whatever happens, I'm extremely confident that I can hit it. And then after the fact, it was like, that was a 5-second pause, which is crazy.
That was long,
which is crazy.
The whole world would have stopped.
Yeah.
Time froze.
Yeah, man. There was in one of the stories, you can see Kelly like watching.
Yeah.
As the pause is happening, she gets really pissed, walks off, has enough time to come back and keep cheering. All off the press. And it was crazy. It was crazy.
Do you think, so this is one thing that I've thought about, right? With the elbow depth call coming into effect and the ruling coming into effect, do you think that potentially refs were looking at elbow depth before giving press calls on that first day? It's something that's going through my head because I know the first day was the harshest day. And I'm thinking potentially they were looking at, would I deem that elbow depth and then calling press just because the bar was motionless, but that was giving them an extra 1 to 2 seconds of like deviation. And then we were getting late press calls. This is just something that I'm thinking about because I do like it was harsher than any other day. And I can admit that. But like I said, I don't make any kind of excuses and we've got to adapt and be able to adhere to the rules. But do you think that this might have been a case?
Potentially. I think for the high level refs that are up to date with the technical rules that are about to come, I guess unconsciously they could be searching for what's to come just because it's a national level competition, right? So it's like, okay, this is a chance for me to kind of practice my refereeing skills as well. Because it's a skill in and of itself.
That's what it's going to be like next year because that head ref is going to have to look at so many different things before they give you a press call. So like,
our press call is going to be 3 count.
We're going to be getting longer press calls, at least on openers anyway, when they come out and see for the first time and they're having to check for that elbow depth. So yeah, definitely something to consider. I mean, in your training from now.
We won't see it till the first comp next year. See how it goes.
That'll be the other thing too. Why I want to do a competition at the start of next year.
That's actually a good point.
See how that goes with that reffing.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough to dig for them now. Anyway.
Other than that, do you have anything else you want to add to your performance, or just you know that you've got to be better? Because we know there's small things that you need to correct. And we had discussions 2 or 3 weeks out, and I even said to you after, I was like, I waited till after and I said, we shouldn't those discussions probably shouldn't have been had so close to a competition. But I know that you've turned the corner now and you've got a team behind you to start helping you make sure that you leave no stone unturned, and all you have to do show up and train.
Yeah, man. Reforming. I think for me as well, in terms of my preparation, I like training alone. I like to be in my own head, but I think putting so much pressure on myself can only last for so long. So I think for the next prep, I'm going to try kind of dial the intensity back and just find enjoyment in the process for the time being before we switch back into more results oriented style of training or mentality. right?
Well,
So
happiness drives results, right? So I had this conversation with someone last night. If you're happy outside of training and you're happy with like your life and what's going on outside of training, then you're going to be able to drive results even further because your performance is going to be up because you feel good, you feel happy, you have this euphoria, and you generally go into training feeling better and happier, and you're not dreading thinking about anything else. You're just happy in the moment and you just perform better. It's like, when you get into like a fresh new relationship or something like that, or you have the right people around you and you're just like happy having a laugh, like you're a better person, right? So it's like getting the right people around you to be able to have a laugh, but while simultaneously pushing each other at the same time, and then knowing when to switch on and off and change from Black Mamba and Danny.
yeah, for sure. Been on for too long. I got to learn how to switch it on and off now. Never thought that it'd come to this situation, but here it is. So we got to adjust now. But other than that, like I've also adjusted my nutrition. So I've hired myself a nutritionist. So we will be on top with that. Make sure we'll leave no stone unturned in terms of nutrition as well.
Yeah, 100%. That's a big thing. When I found out your intake, quite low. We need to up your expenditure and get you able to consume more.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I think that's something that Kedrick will definitely be able to help you with. Yeah, okay. I guess, but that's our performances. None of us are really over the moon with our performances. We're all kind of unhappy and know we can do better. You wanted to challenge. You performed amazingly, right? Even on probably your perfect days, how you are at the moment, you might not have won it regardless, right? He that's the best performance he's ever put together, and we know Yuki just hasn't been able to put together a 9 from 9 performance before, and him doing that, we knew if he did that, he's quite untouchable almost, just because of where he's at and where he was even prior.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so I guess looking at that, like, you'll close that gap, you get to work, you've been closing the gap the whole time. Now we just get back, get on the platform, find another meet, fix the standards, and move forward. Move on.
With the timeline now, like this, like with nationals, I've been to like 2024 again.
Yeah,
like there's so much time. Like that's a long time for a lot of people to put in some serious work. If you start now,
hey,
like that's fucking ages.
The big thing though is like how many people can keep the same intensity and same mindset the whole time, right? Because it's very hard to do when you have no immediate goal in front of you.
Yeah, agreed. I think that's what I've been thinking about with like clients as well. People that are not so intrinsically motivated to want to push for a longer period goal. Thinking about when we should do that qualifying meet for states and nationals, I think is going to be key between, the coach and the athlete. Because if someone's not that inclined to, stick through it, they might not take full advantage of now till states.
Yeah.
100% agreed.
So getting something locked in like towards the start of next year is probably going to be beneficial. So you can start kind of putting it in now.
Yeah. Or even having enough time between states and the qualifier, like, giving yourself just enough time to prep into the states as if you didn't have this luxury of time that we have now. That way they have that feeling of feeling in season.
Yeah.
I think that's something I've been playing around with, but it'll just depend, and it'll come down to a lot of the conversations we have individually with each client.
Yeah.
Cool. So I guess getting back to Nats itself, we'll talk about some of the other performances, and I guess we'll start from the bottom, which was Vicky. Phenomenal. What she did. Absolutely amazing. She's someone that's going to probably podium at Worlds next year. For sure. Like I've looked at the 47 kilo results from last year, and she'd place in second as far as I know, just above Heather Connor. Or should
That's
definitely
crazy.
be Heather Connor around
Mm,
right now.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Head to
then
head
we have
against Turbo Tiff, huh?
Turbo Tiff. Yes.
Fuck,
Although
that's
Turbo
huge.
Tiff's sitting at 425 from
Arnold?
Arnold's.
No. Arnold?
Arnold's, yep.
Yeah.
Yep. European Arnold's,
Yeah.
UK Arnold's. But I think Vicky's someone that will put in the work to be able to catch Tiff, and it'll be a really phenomenal battle between them two. And then moving up, like Liz, absolutely phenomenal, right?
Yeah, just the OG goat.
OG just keeps showing up.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter what she gets put through. Doesn't matter any circumstances. Just keeps coming back, right?
Did you guys see her Instagram recap? Did you see that
Yeah.
resume? That
Yeah,
was
yeah. That's a
crazy.
resume.
That was stacked.
Yeah.
It's like her attitude too. I think she did a post like in the lead up, maybe a day before or something. And it's like, just put your best foot forward on that day. That's all you can do. Like her attitude around lifting, I think is really good. I think that's why she's just been at it for so long, is like, she just does her best, that's all that fucking matters. But yeah, to see her come back from like all those kind of health things that went on for her this year, like that's huge. Like, fuck my little buddy back tweak. She had a fucking brain worked on,
Instrument,
like, it's crazy. Like it's
torn bicep.
But yeah, like that's big thing. So yeah, credit to Liz. That's why she's the best.
Yeah,
Champion.
she's a phenomenal athlete, and she won't stop. She's relentless, right?
Yeah.
She said she wanted to get back to Worlds, and it's where she's going.
Crazy.
Who else?
We got Shay. Shay was phenomenal as well.
Yeah.
Squat record. Went for deadlift record too. I'm quite sure. All three of those girls went over 100 GL. Very, very good to see. She's great performer as well. Great athlete. It's another one from Canberra too. So, the female team that we're bringing to Worlds from Australia, I'm really excited for. Right, like this is really cool. The team that we have is probably going to be the strongest. If not
Australian
the
team,
strongest, definitely one of the strongest team that Australia has brought in a very, very long time to the world stage.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
We also have Isabella, the 76ers.
Yeah.
Cleaned up there. 84s, I know came down to the wire. I'm not sure who won. I know Jamie Bow pulled to win, but got called on soft shoulders.
On a final deadlift, yeah.
Yeah. So that was a questionable call, but it is what it is. Like I said, we can't really argue with refs too much. We aren't seeing what they're seeing. We're just lifting weights, right? And then 84 pluses, Natalie. Holy shit.
Fucking
Natalie Lalai, 270 deadlift attempt for a third. It
Yeah,
was 10 kilos. So at IPF Worlds, the world record is 260. She attempted 270, which has only been hit once at New Zealand Nationals, which is crazy. It's absurd. And the crowd, the fucking crowd, man. The getting up and doing their war dance or war cry. The whole family. Like I remember you and I were sitting together, and just I'm not sure who in relation the man was to her, but he stood up and just started. And man, I remember you and I just said, we got fucking goosebumps. Like it was just chill straight up. Like I've never felt like that at a powerlifting meet.
It was just hands down the best atmosphere, crowd involvement for sure. And like in those last 3 deadlifts, I was like in a daze after
you get drug tested,
medal ceremony, just sitting down. And I heard all the chants, stood up and started watching that platform. And I thought it was like third attempts, and it was like openers.
Yeah, it was just on
openers.
Yeah,
it was opener when it first started, and I was like, whoa!
And she did this massive deadlift, and I was like, oh fuck, that's only like her first or second. I thought it was a bloody third attempt.
Yeah, no,
that was the craziest thing ever.
Loaded 270, so that was sick.
They definitely like missed at the knees, right? So definitely
she's close.
I said to you, I think she's good for 260, 265 after a second, and when we seen 270, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
But, you never know. When you got a crowd like that and your family is around you, never know.
She show up.
Could have nearly pulled it off. You got to show it off. She gave it everything, that's for sure.
That was probably my favorite moment over the weekend. That was crazy.
Yeah, I've never been surrounded by that kind of atmosphere at a powerlifting meet. absolutely phenomenal.
Just a good way to like cap it off too, like because that was what, like it was the last lift, yeah. Like it was just a cool way to end the whole weekend, you know, like with everything that had happened with the crowd and stuff. So for it to finish like that, that was pretty sick.
Yeah.
And
then I guess we'll go to the males. Stephen Bode from Perth Promotion winning the, what are they? 59s out of nowhere.
What are they?
Yeah, I forget. That was his main competitor. Apparently, the favorite to win didn't make weight or didn't show up, so he snuck in and got the gold.
That's it.
So that's great. If he gets to go to Worlds, Dave gets to take his first athlete to Worlds. Next, 66ers, Yuki, like we said, man, Yuki showed up. Yuki put on the performance of his lifetime. He 8 from 9, but technically he went 9 from 9.
He had a little slip.
Hit, man. Hey,
yeah, he had a little slip on his squat, which was unfortunate. But
got a bit too excited. But that third bench, like, I don't know how he pulled that out. Like he couldn't even move after his second bench. So that was cool to see as well. Him still being able to press that weight, and then watching him blast through his deadlifts was really good to see as well. Like we've said prior leading into it, if Yuki goes 9 from 9 and he's smart about his attempt selections, he's going to be very, very hard to beat. And that's what he did. And credit to him. Hats off.
Yeah, man.
Fucking great performance. Really starting to mature as an athlete as well.
Yeah, man. I've had a chat with him as well, like just the other day, and he's got a storyline behind him as well. Like he didn't do his best at South Africa Worlds, and he's promised his teammates, like, we're both coming back. So credit to him for getting his redemption meet and getting his ticket back to Malta.
Him and Joe.
Yep, him and Joe.
Yep. Yeah, I guess I get to redeem myself in Malta with them because I've put myself in that position where I need to now.
9 for 9.
Yeah, I might start a little group chat with Joe and Yuki where we just talk about redemption the whole time. They get way too fucking hyped.
Now we got 74s, the man himself.
74.
Stephen Day. 3 for 9 performance, winning on openers.
Overall as well, I guess it was always the case. I already knew I was going to win going into that, based on who was showing up. I didn't have to really be smart in my attempt selections, although I should have been, which is probably what I was most embarrassed about, because I am usually quite smart in my attempt selections, but this time I was a little bit greedy. Extremely greedy. I wasn't a little bit greedy. I was very greedy because I had no competition. I had no one pushing me to have to go 9 from 9 to secure the win. And we know if Carver, Leo, and Ed were there, it's a different story. My attempts would change because I knew after I squatted that 275 that I was probably only good for some between 281 and 283. I knew that straight away, but I said, put it on there. Like, I remember that grind of 295 that I did in at Campbelltown. It was going to be the same if I was going to stand it up. And I love a fight like that, and I was willing to put myself through it. So I just said load it. That's what I said I was going to squat. So that's what we're putting on the bar.
Classic toxic masculinity.
It really is, man. It really is. It really fucking is. It's bad.
You're waiting to say that. I can see it in your face.
Yeah, I've gotten it from my own clients as well. So I was like, oh yeah, you're right. Can't help it.
So yeah, we're like everyone knew I was going to already go in and wipe the floor with 74s. There was no doubt about that. Obviously didn't perform as well as I wanted to perform, but like I said, I've put myself in this position over years. It's just been a matter of time that I finally get to go to Worlds, and now I get to go and perform there and really put my best foot forward. And like I said, I just want to get fucking healthy. Yeah.
Moving on, 83s.
It's not a flex anymore that I train through pain. It's definitely not. It's bad.
I don't know how you do it.
Yeah,
you just keep showing up.
Yeah. Not
Yeah,
not for this long.
I don't know how you do it, man. After I went through a bloody 3 days of it.
Yeah.
Back.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't want to talk about it too much
No, yeah.
because
Bad juju.
bad juju, and also like I'm not someone that likes to, I tell the close people around me, and the close people around me know what I'm going through, but it's not something I like to share with everyone. I believe that, everything's happening for a reason, and it's just from me pushing a bit too hard too often. And I guess after that, we got the 83s, James Lee.
Yeah.
Mr. James Lee, Edgy James.
Mr. Edgy James, Mr. the video guy, Thirds Media. Let's go.
Video guy.
He had a good day. I had the
performed.
pleasure of handling him on your behalf, and we executed. Like, unfortunately, his third deadlift wasn't there. It was an oversight on my part. In the back room, our conversation pretty much went like, "I'm ready to pull 82.5," and I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." I had that in the back of my mind. And then when we were calculating, it's like, all right, we don't really need to pull him all the way to his top end. So we might just pull him back to 275. And even then, by the time he got to like his third attempt, he'd put everything out there. So he was a bit too cooked for 275
Changed
as well.
skin colors, bro.
Yeah, he went red.
So
funniest thing ever.
That's obviously the hardest we've let you've handled James for me multiple times now, and usually that third squat's really easy, and he still moved that one like it was easy, right? His third squat. This was the first time we kind of let him go off the chain a little bit, and I'm not sure if that had an effect on his deadlift, but I also believe that there was a bit of a technical mishap with the way that he pulled his last deadlift as well, because if we look at that 275 compared to his 277 at junior nationals, the 275 moves 10 times better off the floor to the knees. So I think we got to rewatch the video. We've rewatched it a couple of times and spoken about it in person, because he obviously stayed with me after, but there was it was a bit technical rather than, I don't think that was a strength issue at all.
Yeah, he was close. He was really close.
Yeah. But in hindsight, right, like, we kind of already knew he'd sealed the win by the second deadlift, so it didn't matter what we did. But that was a learning curve on your behalf as a coach to know that, like, okay, if the other guy needs to pull more, and just to match what we've already done on the second, and he's missed his second, you don't need to add very much at all.
Yeah, that already adds a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
265. Yeah, he already had a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Potts still had to go up 4 kilos to match that second. So if we went up 7.5 to 272, or even 5,
270,
yeah, Potts has to add 9 kilos, which he didn't even get his second. So that would have completely sealed it, and it wouldn't have had that little bit of doubt or opened the door a little bit at all. Would have just shut the door if we took whatever, really. 267 essentially could have shut the door.
Yeah, for sure. Learning experience from nationals to from a qualifier or a states where it's like just hit your biggest total. Nationals is more about pushing it far ahead, out of reach of the competitors.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
and
locking in those spots.
Yeah,
even if it is less.
Yeah, even if it is less and it's not what the athlete wants, we're doing it to win. We're not doing it to PR
or whatever.
PR or anything. We're doing it to win. But I mean, the turnaround that James had from junior nationals to open nationals, because he messaged me the day after. You know why?
Yeah, I was there.
Said prep me, my response was like, "Are you for real?" And he was like, "Yeah, we've got nothing else besides states at this time, and then nationals isn't until 2024. I mean, now he's got worlds, so he's given himself a meet in the middle there now." But I said to him, if you're going to do this, you need to be able to squat this, bench this, and deadlift this if you want to be a part of that conversation, if you actually want to be able to win. And he did it. He fucking did it. Like, he turned around a 5-week prep and he benched 7.5 kilo bench PR. Like, that's unheard of. After missing his third at junior nationals, with 167, misses it, and then hits 172. Or 170 might have missed. So whatever. He still missed it, and then he benched more.
Yeah.
He squat like 10 kilos more. Like, only he could do it, right? Like that prep, that turnaround. And like, if I wanted to go like dive in on like the prep that we ran to, it's the most unorthodox thing I've ever ran in my life.
But it worked.
But it worked, and it worked phenomenally well. That's probably like a whole fucking podcast so I could go over what we ran with him.
So that could be Monday's mentoring.
Yeah.
As much as he clowns around, he's a competitor. He balls out.
He balls. He just does it in his own way. He does it in the James Lee way.
Figure eights around your final deadlift.
Yeah, the figure eights. The figure eights. Head down, phone to his ear out the back, listening to Beyonce.
Yeah.
Moving on, 93s.
Yeah.
93s was a stacked class. That was a good battle.
Man. That was good.
Talk for days.
Where do we start? Really? Do we just want to talk about the podium? Brody, Callan, and Adam.
Yeah, we'll go from top to bottom. Adam had a day.
Adam clutch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Missing 315.5 on his second, being forced to pull 223. Was it?
Yeah, 0.5 or 321.5.
321 or 323.
Yeah. And getting it.
Yeah.
And like it moved too.
Yeah.
After I saw his second, I was like, oh shit, Callan has got this.
Yeah.
And then
after I seen his second, I was like, I actually thought, okay, well, Brody, because I was handling Brody can pull this 310. We will win.
Oh, that's right, because Brody, Brody slowed
but then after, even if Brody hits his 310, that same deadlift that Adam pulls matches Brody and he wins on body weight. So just absolute clutch performance from Adam Jones to come out and pull that third deadlift out of nowhere.
It was crazy to see, man. It was like, after seeing that, I was like, oh, anything's possible. Gave me a bit of hope. Like I was down. I was a bit down mentally during handling, but like seeing that, I was like, anything's possible. It started from there.
You can come out. You can perform. Talk about Callan. Callan had a phenomenal day too. His squat was, his third moved better than his opener. Just watching. Bench, I think he missed his last bench, but they squeezed every kilo out, right? If you only take a 2.5 kilo on your third attempt and you miss, you've essentially got what you're going to land on anyway, right?
Yeah.
Deadlifts, just a little bit too heavy. That last one, that's all it was. Adam Jones just put it a bit too far out of reach. It's a very, very smart play, the load that they selected. And I guess, it is what it is. That's meet day, right? Still performed phenomenally well. Huge total PR. Put himself in second spot. And I think, sky's the limit for Callan as well. And then, looking at Brody, 20 kilos, 10 kilo squat PR. Unfortunately had
moved too.
It moved. Yeah. Something happened after that he probably doesn't want me to mention, but so we'll just leave it at that. Then, his bench, feet were just sliding everywhere. Someone that's so technically efficient and has that much leg drive, when it gets to the third day of the meet and there's a shitload of fucking talc on that platform, makes it very hard for your feet not to slide. But that's something we should have adapted. We should have overcame. I've also discussed as a coach how I could have made better selections on loads on the bar in the moment. But we've both kind of reviewed that whole day together and spoken about it. But he'll be better for it. He obviously really wanted to go back to Worlds because he went this year. But it is what it is. And then his third deadlift, ripping his callus on his second, right off. If you've seen it, it was a big rip.
Dangling. He left it on the court.
Yeah, he left it on the court.
Left it behind,
he just loaded that thing up with liquid chalk, and Tom Chaplin was loading it up. Brody couldn't even look at it, and Tom's just going, "I'm sorry, Brody. I must do again." Brody's just just load it up. And I'm just, I was obviously myself just walking around. I'm like, this is the moment, right? You need to come out, just suck it up and do it. And he's still so fucking close to 310, but he said, he felt that callus just tear more and more as the bar was getting more up his legs. So that's how it went. Adam Jones, clutch ball, clutch performance.
105s.
105s. Big
Randy, Tommy, and Tominator.
Tommy, Randy, and Tonga. Great day from Michael Rand. Missed his second squat. Came out, absolutely nailed on his 30. He had a lot more kilos left in that. Goes 3 from 3 in bench, so he's 5 from 6, and everyone already knew he was the strongest lifter on the day. But I know when he missed that second squat, Tom had his headphones around his neck, I think, and he missed that second squat. And I went up to Tom and I said, he's just fucking opened that door for you, and just put his headphones straight on his ears.
Yeah, it's sick.
And he goes, open the door, and I was like, yeah, you heard me. And his head just went bang, laser focus, I'm in the zone.
Yeah, I was watching from the stream, and Tommy just looked like he was having like a good day. Like it looked like it all came like to fruition on that platform, and he lifted fucking awesome. Like he had a smile on his face. He was fucking pumped up after each attempt, which was really good to see. Obviously, because we trained with him the whole lead up, and it was just cool to see all that come true on the platform. Although it wasn't the end result he wanted, like it was fucking awesome.
He put everything out there, and he pushed Michael around far.
What was his total PR was like 40 kilos or something? Or 30?
I think it was a bit less, but based on the fact that he loaded whatever he needed on his third deadlift. So he didn't PR his deadlift, but he definitely had a PR deadlift in him.
Yeah.
Josh, he's not happy with his day. Just some lifting standards that he needs to correct. But Josh has only been in this sport that was his third competition.
Fresh, yeah.
That's Josh's third competition. So he's only going to get better from that. And that's a good experience to have at your third competition, right? To go to nationals, get pinned on a few technical things. So now you know where you got to work on if you want to lift at that level. And, not very many people's third competitions, also nationals as well. And they definitely don't podium.
Yeah, for sure. And he's got the best support crew behind him. They're the best.
Team Taco.
They're the best.
Yeah, they are going. I love them. Love them. What do we got? We got you after that.
120s.
120s.
Sam came out, blitzed everyone.
Yeah.
100 kilos.
Second place was Ben. I think I was like 100 ahead of him, I think.
Yeah.
And then third place was can't remember now. Will from Canberra.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what he totaled. Yeah. Couple of bones, which wasn't good to see. Yeah, I actually ended up having a good day in terms of the fact that I got around more of the other lifters more than I normally do. Like I think with the way after I left my third squat, I kind of just relaxed into the day a little bit more, and I enjoyed being around some of the other 120s and socializing a bit more.
I think it's
than I normally would.
It's because you're not in a battle, right?
Yeah,
I think you're not going head to head with anyone, so you don't need to stay at that high, super high level of arousal. You can calm down and bring yourself down and know that you've already won. Essentially, you're in the same situation as I am, where you win on your openers, but you obviously didn't fucking tell the whole world what you were going to hit.
Yeah,
Made smart decisions.
So that was good, just to relax into the day, and be around some other 120s. I enjoyed that. And then 120 plus Stubby.
Good performance. Great performance.
850.
Yeah,
I think it was 9
from 9. Just smart attempt selections.
Yeah.
I was helping run attempt selections for him to put him in a position where no one could catch him. But those two
Brandon, the big squatter, squatted 350 on his second.
Second,
missed on his second.
Missed on his second, and
came out and hit it again on a third.
Yeah, and it was a grind on that second too.
Like I was thinking, imagine squatting 350, getting reds, and coming out and having to squat it again.
He got angry.
That's a lot of weight. So yeah, that's pretty sick. And I can't remember what the order was, but I think Stubb sealed it on his second deadlift.
Second, because the other guy,
Tyson or Brandon,
I think it was Tyson.
They missed on their seconds and thirds.
He missed his second, and then didn't also make a jump for his third to try and push out Stubbs either. He just left it the same. So I don't know if that was a game day coaching thing or they just didn't realize. But I think he came out and missed anyway. So Stubbs had it secured. I think we just put on an extra 7.5 kilos on his third just to make sure that was definitely out of reach for the other guy.
327 or something.
Yeah. And it was easy. He still had plenty in the tank, but we just wanted to, same thing as with James. It was essentially out of reach by the second, but we just wanted to put the nail in the coffin.
Yeah. Credit to Stubby. I remember at the very start of the day, Kelly checked out the openers and stuff and went straight up to him in the warm-up area and was like, boy, like, you've got a battle here, like, switch on. And I could just see like him go headphones in, like kind of like Tommy did. And like for the rest of the day, I just observing from afar, like he just looked like really switched on, really calm. Just like he just trusted the process in terms of the attempt selections, wasn't getting like too overhyped. He was just like, yeah, he did well, performed well.
Yeah, really good.
Which is good to see.
We've got the 69 females. Barra, Brittany Ramos. What a performance! Brittany showing up out of
200
nowhere.
deadlift.
200 kilo deadlift. Fucking great.
That was big pull.
Big pull. Benched 100 kilos. Squatted 165. I'm quite sure.
Yeah.
Great performance from Brittany. Big future.
She pulled ahead.
Yeah, she pulled ahead. She was untouchable basically. Barra sealing second with 190.
Yeah.
Almost blasted Dave putting 190 because she only had 187. But still,
20 kilo fucking deadlift PR, I think.
Yeah, just fucking just picked it up.
Picked it up.
It was. I was watching it from the side and I was like, wow, because I was obviously handling Hannah at the time and I thought we'd put it too far out of reach. And yeah, Barrett just came out and just went full Bundy mode.
Bundy mode.
She went Bundy bear and picked it up.
Yeah.
It was great to see. But yeah, I'd obviously thought we put Hannah in a position where second was hers after Kelly decided not to take a third deadlift. But, those things happen. Sometimes an athlete can just like find another gear and Barra just came out and picked it up.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. Yeah, 190, that's huge.
Yeah, 100%.
Especially after like not touching anything near that,
Yeah, well, obviously I see Barry here at training. I knew what she'd pulled. So
yeah. So yeah, go on your Barra, big bench and Barra.
Yeah, and I think that's it. I guess
big total Barra.
Moving forward, big total Barra. But we can't go past Brittany, right? That I'm proud. Great performance. I know Brittany in person. Really nice person, and performed really well. Really happy for her. I think she's quite green in the sport as well, and now she's getting a spot to Worlds, so that's really good to see. And Victoria needs more APU members, so hopefully she can lead the way down there.
Yeah.
And what have we got? I guess that's every single weight class covered. But looking around this, like I said, this team that Australia is going to bring to Malta next year is the strongest team we've had in a very long time. Outside of the days that JP was there and Cam McKenzie and Liz was obviously still around then, and we had multiple other people outside of those days. Australia is really going to start bring a formidable force to Worlds, and it's going to be great to see.
And there's a representative in every weight class now, which is really good.
A proper representative, right? Like someone that can actually place in the top 10 in nearly every weight class.
Yeah.
Really happy. Great weekend.
So yeah, big timeline now. Next Nats, like we said, 2024. So everyone start looking at those qualifiers, states in the year. Get at it.
Let's go.
Let's get it.
All right.
Easy. All right. Well, thank you. Thanks for listening.
We'll check in again in a few weeks. Episode 5, might look to get someone on maybe.
Yeah.
From Nats or something.
Anyone who listens to the whole thing, if you want to jump on and have a chat with us, especially if you're anyone that did nationals and you were, I guess, won your weight class and you want to have a talk, come on the podcast, reach out and we'll get you on. Love to have someone else on.
Sweet. All right.
Thanks,
crew.
Take care, everybody.